Are you looking for an inspiring listen? Something to motivate you? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Women of the Northwest, where we have conversations with ordinary women leading extraordinary lives. Motivating, inspiring, compelling. Hey everybody, welcome to Women of the Northwest. I am so glad you're here today because I have an exciting interview for you. I have Annie Eskelin, who is the Executive Director of Astoria Visual Arts, also known as AVA. Welcome, Annie.
Hi, Jan. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Some of you know that I started a chapter of 100 Women Who Care, where we recognize local nonprofits. And Annie came to represent Astoria Visual Arts, and oh, what an exciting program that is. And I just thought, wow, more people need to know about this and find out about it and come and see it. So, Annie, I want to start out by asking you, what drew you to art? Is that something you did as a little girl, or is it something, what's your story?
Well, I have an art degree and also a business degree. And when I was growing up, I was naturally drawn to art. I was in advanced art whenever there was an opportunity for it. I grew up in rural Alaska, and there wasn't a lot of art opportunity there. There were not a lot of professional artists. I actually didn't meet my first professional artist until I was in college. Yeah, and then I think, like a lot of art majors, you just end up taking art classes because they are so fun and fulfilling, and then you find yourself with a art degree.
And now what?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the path that has led me. Actually, one of my art professors, he turned me on to a job that was in Legrand as the executive director of the Union County Art and Culture Center, which is now Art Center East. And so that was my first involvement with a nonprofit, and it was really exciting. And really, it was one of those things where the bus stopped there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband and I moved to Astoria a decade ago, and this job came up and I applied for it and got it. And it takes a lot of your heart, your soul, and time. But I definitely found that I have, a role that's very fulfilling for me.
Because you're passionate about it.
I am passionate about it. Yes, absolutely.
And it just shows in just everything that you brought about that's going on. Wow. What's your favorite medium?
Well, that's a funny question. It changes. I definitely love to explore all mediums. When I was in school, I was primarily focused on painting. Of late, metal welding has actually been like the thing that I keep thinking about the most. But as I just mentioned before the interview, I just had a successful ceramics firing, which kind of threw me for a loop because I've had mostly unsuccessful ones. So who knows? Who knows?
Well, and the college has MRTs with the welding program right there. So,
Yeah.
There's that and all the tools.
Yep. My husband and I have a really extensive tool collection, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. And two of my sons are welders, and then my one son's wife skipped from being a math teacher to being a welder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now she's into it too, and it's kind of
okay. Well, that's definitely. I'm just in it for the making things, not actually structural.
right. Oh no. But there's so many fun things, Oh, so many fun things.
Yeah.
Kind of like popcorn, right? Oh, I could do this. I could do this. Oh, let me try this. Oh, that'd be fun.
Yep. Doesn't always work out, but that's part of it.
But it's experience. What do you like most about doing art? Do you like the process or do you like the end product?
Gosh, I am a little bit goal driven, so I would say, well, it depends on what medium I'm working in. The process is always fun, and you lose yourself, and then you really know that you are doing something that you're supposed to be doing when you lose track of time. So I was going to say the end result, but actually I'm going to switch it and say the process is definitely the most fulfilling part of it. And hopefully the end result also, but it doesn't always pan out that way.
Yeah. I like the process because a lot of times I don't really care about what happens to it at the end. Yeah, I can give it away or not or whatever, but it's like, okay, I did that. Now let's.
Yeah. The
But
last piece I made was a metal flounder skeleton, which it's so tedious and so just constant welding of all the little bones and things. So I mean that's very process oriented.
right, right. Okay, so how did you? So you got hired to do ABA. What was it? What did it look like when you started?
That is such a good question. So I actually, when I first moved to town, I had a little baby who was 3 months old. My husband got a job with Fish and Wildlife, and we moved here. And to get to know people in the community, I applied to be the artist in residence for Astoria Visual Arts.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just been in town like 6 months, and I was awarded the residency.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a studio space next to Robert Paulman, for those of you who know the Astoria elite artists, and across for me was Darren Orange.
Oh my!
And so it was such an amazing experience to have a studio space and work on whatever I wanted to and take it a little bit more serious. And back then, this was in 2015, our AVA's residency was only 3 months. And I had a new little one, so he came to the studio with me a lot. And honestly, it wasn't a very successful residency for me. So I started 65 pieces. I just was never really in love with anything that I made during the residency. I mean, but it was still a part of the process, and being around professional artists that took it seriously. And then it was really important to my development. And then later, I was able to use that knowledge, in the position. And now the residency is 6 months. So you really get to spend some time in the studio and really make your practice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's enough time to really get deep.
Yeah, 3 months was so short. So funny how fast it goes by.
And you kind of think 3 months. That seems like a good amount of time, but really, yeah.
And now I'm very deadline oriented. So now the artists and residents are also not necessarily required, but nobody's turned it down. They also have to create work for an exhibition.
Okay.
So it changes. It changes
Your impetus.
Yeah, you're perfect. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And you are going to think through a different way as to, am I just dabbling in something, or is this something like, yeah, I really want, because it does take you that next step further.
It does.
Once you're looking at doing a show and having people see it and getting it out there, and maybe you might have had some imposter syndrome to begin with too. That's going to take you to that next spot. And then after that, they can do what they want, right?
Yep. And over the years, we've had 41 artists in residence.
Oh my.
Seeing how it has impacted their art career. It's all different directions, whether it's a job, commission, public art. For me, it was a position,
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a really fun part of the job.
And rewarding.
And very rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like your babies, Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's great. And then there's also so many other aspects of Astoria Visual Arts and additional programming that are so fulfilling. There's another residency that got started after that one, the Coastal Oregon Artist Residency, which connects to environmentalism in art and conservation. It's reclaiming items from the local transfer station.
Mm-hmm.
And making them into art. And then there's an exhibition with that as well. And artists get paid to make art, which is super rare.
Yes.
Yeah, there's got to be only a handful of those.
it's been a number of years ago, but my daughter that's teaching in Ben had made, I don't even know whether she did it during her high school art class or whether she just decided to do it on a whim, which she might have done too, but she recycled Skittles and made a dress out of it. And then she had three dresses. One was out of Skittles wrappers and one was out of fair ribbons. Wow. Which if you're a boy, you would have put tons of. And the last one, which was amazing, was tea stain coffee filters.
Wow.
And this one was a full length, almost like Southern Belle kind of type of dress. And then they had a show here that was a fashion show, with different things. So it was really fun.
I possibly went to that show. Was it part of the Jane Barnes
It was
review?
over on the side. I can't remember what was it. I can't remember. Might have been
a downtown association fundraiser.
Yeah, something whatever. But it was
Did she win first?
She won one.
Prize?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was fun. But yeah, so many things with recycling. Oh gosh. I mean, that of course, just the vision of doing that even with kids. And you do have kids programs and things, right?
We do. Yeah, and our kids programming is expanding thanks to 100 Women Who Care. So that's really, really exciting. I just gave a report to the board last night about the expansion, and it's significant. It has become our largest program kind of overnight. And it's also, I see as one of the largest needs in our rural community is fueling art programs for kids, which there are not very many.
Right. And I think too, when you look at just school and teachers, they do crafts, but they don't do art, and everything is cookie cutter. And because they're not trained to know how to look and see things and even just basic design type of things or to explore the materials. It's like, okay, we're going to do the project and now that's done. Now you're not using it again. Well, you can't know the materials if you don't do them multiple times. You don't know what the materials will do.
Yeah, my son, he's in 5th grade now, and this is the first time in his elementary school experience that he has a teacher that is really enthusiastic about art. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of the first questions I ask in the parent-teacher conference. And it is every single year, it is wildly different. His 2nd grade teacher actually said, well, that's what this big screen is over here. That's what teaches the art. I love math. Okay. But every classroom is different for kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the experiences are. So tell us more about your Art for Kids program. What are you doing specifically?
So it is multifaceted. We have our longest standing program is called the Miss B. Johnson Fund, and that is at the Astoria Choice Academy, and it works with high school students. And it's generally students that don't fit into the regular high school model for whatever reason. And so we provide those kids with weekly art classes, and we hear regularly that day for those kids is the best day of their week because it starts with art. And
no doubt.
One of the instructors there said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we did this every day? And I was just like,
yes, it would.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll work toward that because it would be so fun to have that type of a pilot model. But yeah, for now, it's just one day a week. And so that's over a decade old, that program. And we also have art room after school. So that is for grades K through 8, 2 different classes a week. And that fills up instantly. It's so funny. We have our last unit of the school year, Unit 4, and we had a wait list. And the second we got that registration up, I sent it to the couple of people that were on the wait list. No other marketing whatsoever. And within 12 hours, it was full.
Wow.
So one of the things the 100 Women has enabled is we are starting a second class. The one that filled up, I should clarify, is the K through 4, but the other one almost completely full. It was full now. And so now we're doing 2 classes for that age group on Wednesdays, and it's a free class. And yeah, we're looking to expand that as well. So there's art room after school. We are also starting art room at the library, relaunching that. So that happens 2 times a month, and that's also free. Our initial marketing for that, we're having to pivot. So we were having 3 classes. We were separating kids out into 3 age groups. And so instead, we decided recently we're just going to have 2 classes, one for families, so all ages. So anyone can come. And so those projects will be a little bit easier. And then we're going to have a teens class. So we're also trying to reach older kids. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It just started last week. So
Yeah.
or relaunched, I should say. And that part of that funding is also from 100 Women Who Care.
Yay!
So we're really excited about that. And our instructors are all traveling from Seaside. So it's been really great to have that extra funding so that they're teaching 2 classes back to back instead of just 1. So they're not traveling all that way for an hour, session, which is really great. So we really appreciate it. And then I'm not done yet.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. We also started this will be our 4th year, be our 5th year of art camps. So we're doing outdoor art camps for kids in the summer, which has been so wonderful. It's 60 kids per camp. They're really intense, kind of short, multi-day camps.
Where are you holding those?
Fort Stevens. So they are really outdoors, which is great. Right along with the bugs and the bees and the weather sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that enables us to keep our staff on year round also, which was such a significant advancement of the program. And businesses have really stepped up to offer scholarships for the kids, which is so great. So we have 1/3 of the kids that attend those art camps are full scholarship, and that just feels so good to be able to provide that programming. And for some kids, they respond that they wish it could never end. And just like these just so heartwarming things, and we're like, oh, us too.
It's right up there with PE.
Yeah.
Favorite time of the day.
We're all pretty exhausted at the end, but we also share the sentiments also.
Yeah. Do you have volunteers that help with that?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have really solid paid staff. So we have a great model. And then, we always have volunteers, generally parents that step up.
Okay. Tell us about the gallery.
Yeah. And then, the AVA gallery takes up a lot of my time, and it's also super, super fulfilling. It's really versatile. We have a brand new, I don't know if it's brand new, but we moved. We relocated to Commercial Street. So we're located at 959 Commercial Street now in a space that's 1,600 square feet. So we moved in October from a really pretty small space that was 450 square feet to 1,600 square feet. And it's going really great. So right now we have a show up that's a partnership with Rain Magazine at Clatsop Community College. And generally that magazine's been going for over 25 years. I'm not quite sure how many years, but a long time. And they never showcase the art that's featured in the magazine. So it's a lot of student work, along with, right alongside professional artists. And so we'll see if this continues in future years. The show is called Courage. Artists and Writers Face Their Fears, which is also the theme of Rain Magazine this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curated by V. Lind, and she's on our board, and it's been great working with her in the college, and it's an outstanding show.
It is. So you have the gallery, Yeah, the kids.
Residencies. And then Open Studios Tour also. So it's part of our artist professional development. This year will be the 16th annual Astoria Open Studios Tour. Yeah, so it's always the last weekend of July. So this year it's July 25th and 26th. It showcases over 50 artists from this area.
Yeah.
And it's amazing event. Completely free, family friendly. Go around, meet your artists, see what their methods are, what their studio space are, what media, what they drives their creativity. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so fun to go on open studios.
And what a great place to live. Gossip County has so many creatives.
It does.
In all different genres,
And for open studios, to actually go to some of these studios that they're never open. Some of them are, but I'd say the vast majority, that's just the one time a year. To get to go to Richard Rowland's wood fire kiln.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's provides that opportunity. Yeah. And there's so many great locations.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're almost out of time. What else would you like to share with us?
Let's see. There's a ton of things that I should say. That Astoria Visual Arts is a member organization. So member dollars fuel a lot of our programming because it's all free. I mean, the only thing, there's a couple of things that we charge really nominally for, and we always have scholarships. So community funding is the backbone of what we do. And then it also helps us secure grants. So you can go on our website, astoriavisualarts.org, and go under support and sign up to be a member. We'd really appreciate it. It's an annual membership. It starts at $50, but whatever people want to support, whatever level they want, is just so welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It all goes into the pot and helps I think just because art saves lives, right?
It does. I should have that bumper sticker, but I give everybody a thumbs up who has that bumper sticker.
Truly, I mean, it just because you get in, like you said, you get in a zone when you're working on something, and it's just the process and the looking at things, and there's so much evaluative skills that happen in there. What colors am I going to use? What materials am I going to use? How does that work together? Oh, this didn't work, so how can I make it work?
Yeah, it's so versatile and valuable. I think it doesn't get enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get enough funding for how impactful it can be in everyday lives and how it can solve problems. I mean, it's just so rewarding to work in this field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times maybe people just think art is just paintings, whatever, without thinking about the deeper levels of things.
Agreed, for sure. Especially with kids and, I'm not going to talk about politics, but how it can create an outlet for stress of all types and really fuels your creative soul. Yeah, it's really, really empowering.
Yeah,
to be a part of
renewal. Yeah,
renewal, community building. Yep.
Yeah, all agree. Thank you so much, Annie.
Yeah, thanks, Jan. This has been really, really positive for me, for sure.
Good. That's all for today. Did you know it's easy to share an episode with your friends? When the podcast is open, look for 3 dots. Click on them, and you'll see various options. You can download the episode, play it next or last, go to the show, save the episode, or copy the link. Isn't technology amazing? Hey, I'm looking forward to you joining me next time. I hope you have a great week.